Hello students, in last 5 lectures, we have seen the concepts of fundamental principles of counting, permutation and combination and some examples on permutation and combination. To find out the probability, first of all we should know what is meant by experiment and the types of experiments. So let us come towards the today's lecture, that is deterministic and non-deterministic experiment. We want to know what is meant by experiment. All of you are familiar with the concept of experiment, that means the word experiment. Up to 12th, you have seen the experiment, but those experiments you have conducted in laboratories. That means whenever that word comes in front of us, we require the laboratory equipments or instruments, then performance of that experiment, readings and all these things. But in statistic, this experiment has some wider role or meaning, what we can say. So here in this statistic, experiments means an experiment is virtually any operation that results in one or more outcomes. Means whatever it may be the activity you are doing that results either in one outcome or more than one outcome, means result. It is called as experiment. Means which activities virtually, that means which we can see. For example, appearing for an examination. So to appear an examination, that is an activity. So the outcomes of that experiment is either you will pass or you will fail. So that are called as the outcomes. Second experiment we can say tossing a coin. So all of you know that means on ground you have tossed it many times, or whenever you beat someone, then you are having the tossing of a coin. That is either you will get head or tail. So those are nothing but the outcomes, that is head or tail. So tossing a coin, that is an experiment. Or when you are having a ball or a stone and you are releasing it from some height, so we know that it will surely fall down on the ground. So this outcome is fixed, that is it will fall on the ground. Rolling a 6-faced die. So all of you know that means when you are having snake and ladder or like that. So you have a die and it has a 6 face. So the dots are there on the face. So those outcomes are either 1 will come or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So that is the outcomes. So all of these are called as an experiment. To measure the height of the person, that is also experiment. To measure the blood pressure of a person, that is also an experiment. The temperature, to record the temperature, or that will be a variable. But you are planting some seeds, that is an experiment. So you know all of you are playing the cards. So you are playing the cards and one card is drawn, that is also the experiment. So many types of the experiments. So these are all the activities and that results in some outcomes. So that are called as the experiment. So here experiment has a wider sense or wider scope. Now what is meant by trial of an experiment? When you are doing that experiment only once. So trial of an experiment is nothing but performance of the experiment only once, then it is called as a trial. When I always say, that is, let us take mere trial. So you are taking or you are doing that activity only once. If you are doing the same activity again and again, if you are doing it 2 times, then there are 2 trials. If you are doing it 3 times, then these are the 3 trials. So n trials means experiment is performed n times. Same experiment you are repeated n times, then that is called as a n trials. Types of the experiment. Now in the types of experiment, there are 2 types of the experiment. One is the deterministic experiment and another one is non-deterministic experiment. Now let us see, this non-deterministic experiment is also called as a random experiment. Now let us see the type one by one. Deterministic experiment, an experiment whose outcome is unique and hence certain. The outcome can therefore be predicted before performing the experiment, that is called as a deterministic experiment. The word itself suggests you, deterministic means is constant, fixed. You should be deterministic, that word we are always using. So deterministic means you should be firm. Like that, your outcome is firm, means fixed. So an experiment whose outcome is unique, that means single outcome, and hence certain, that is fixed. For example, throwing a ball in the sky. So outcome is fixed, that it is falls down. Second is cooling water below 0 degree Celsius. So outcome is fixed, that it will freeze, it will convert into ice. Boyle's law. Boyle's law is nothing but PV is equal to constant. P stands for pressure, V stands for volume. So P into V, that is equal to constant. So if you want to find out P, then P is equal to constant upon V. So we know that these are the inversely proportional to, that is pressure is inversely proportional to volume. That means if volume increases, then 1 upon V, that will becomes less. That means pressure increases. If volume, so that is the Boyle's law. So that is also a constant. So that is a deterministic experiment. So all the deterministic experiment can be described in mathematical formulae. Newton's law, all Newton's law, that is S is equal to ut plus 1 of at square. That is also a mathematical formula. So that is also included in deterministic experiment. So their experiments, their results are fixed, those are reliable. So that is a deterministic experiment. Now second one is non-deterministic experiment. It is also called as a random experiment. A non-deterministic experiment is an experiment for which there are more than one possible outcomes, and the results of the experiment cannot be predicted in advance. Now, opposite of the deterministic, in deterministic only one, that is unique outcome. Here more than one possible outcome. So it is also called as a random experiment. For example, sex of a newborn baby. So we don't know it what will happen, but we can judge it, that is it will be either male or female. So we can have it. Second one is rolling a die. So we know that there are 6 faces. So outcome may be either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So these are the possible outcomes. Blood group of a person. So outcome may be the main blood groups we are having, that is O, A, B or AB. So these are the possible outcomes for the blood group of a person. Now next concept is sample space. So what is meant by sample space? The definition is the set of all possible distinct outcomes of an experiment is called as a sample space. Here set of all possible, that means you want to consider all possibilities of that experiment, and those outcomes we are writing in a distinct way. You have learned set theory in 9th also, 11th, 12th also. So there in writing the set we are having the distinct elements. So the outcomes which are distinct, that we are writing here. Sample space is denoted by capital S or omega. Now the experiment we are having, first experiment, tossing a coin. So single coin is tossed. So when you are tossing, either you will get head or tail. So these are the two possibilities or two outcomes. Therefore omega is equal to H comma T. H stands for head, T stands for tail. Tossing two coins. So omega is equal to, now here the outcomes are both are head. First one is head, second tail, or first tail, second head, or tail, tail. Now here we are having the concept of permutation, that is order is important. So that's why HH, HT like that. Third one, tossing three coins. So number of elements here, that is these are called as the elements. So all the heads HHH or HHT or HTH. That means whenever you want to write this sample space, keep in mind that first of all take all H, second one 2H and T, and arrange them in different way, HHT, HTH, THH. Now reduce one H and introduce one T, that means one H and 2T, and arrange them. So HTT, THT, TTH, and the last one is all the T, that is TTT. So these are the 8 outcomes of this sample space. Next is A die is rolled. A die is rolled means a die is tossed, or we are rolling a die. So the possible outcomes are either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. So that is the sample space for rolling a die. Now suppose two dice are rolled, then the outcomes are 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. That means first die shows 1 and second one is from 1 to 6. Then first keeping changing the first one 2 and all possible combination with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 6. So like that 4, 1, 2, 4, 6, 5, 1, 2, 5, 6 and 6, 1, 2, 6, 6. So these are the total 36 elements or outcomes of the rolling a 2 dice. Now the types of the sample space. So when we are having the sample space, it is either related to deterministic experiment or non-deterministic experiment. If it is related to deterministic experiment, it will contain only one element. And if it is related to the non-deterministic experiment, then it will have more than one element. So in that case, depending on the number of elements in the sample space, the sample space is divided into two types. First one is discrete and second one is continuous. Now what is meant by discrete? Or discrete is divided into two categories or two types. First one is finite sample space and second one is countably infinite sample space. And this continuous is nothing but uncountably infinite sample space. Now let us know one by one what is meant by discrete and continuous. So discrete sample space, a sample space containing finite or countably infinite sample points is called, or elements is called as a discrete sample space. So here itself is the definition. Discrete sample space, it contains either finite or countably infinite number of points is called as a discrete sample space. Now let us come to the first one, that is finite in the discrete sample space. So a sample space containing finite number of elements is called as a finite sample space. That means as the name suggests, that is the definition. Now in the discrete sample space, what happens? The sample points are finite or countably infinite. That means that belongs to the set of whole numbers, that is 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. So those values are isolated value, we can count it. So the first one is that is finite sample space. So the number of elements are finite. So such sample space is denoted by omega is equal to, this is not W1, it is a omega 1, omega 2, omega 3 like that. Last one is omega 1. That means some sample points are there and the last point we know. So that is a confirm. So here these are the finite sample space. Now the example for this, here total number of elements, last one is n. So n is nothing but the number of elements. So the W1, W2, W3, so it is omega 1, omega 2, omega 3 dash dash up to omega n are called as the outcomes. Now consider the experiment, tossing two coins. So what are the outcomes? HH, HT, TH and TT. So total number of outcomes, that is 4. So it is a finite sample space. Next one is countably infinite sample space. So a sample space containing countably infinite number of elements is called as a countably finite sample space. Now see the definition properly. A sample space containing countably infinite. That means we can count it, but those outcomes are infinite. And that sample space is called as a countably So it is countably infinite sample space. And such sample space is denoted by omega 1, omega 2, omega 3 and dash dash. So since these are elements are infinite, so we cannot tell the last one, and that's why dash dash at the end. So it can go up to infinity. So there is a one-to-one correspondence between omega and the set of natural numbers. Set of natural numbers means 1, 2, 3, 4. So number of elements we can count it. The number of accidents on a Mumbai-Pune highway. So we don't know exactly how many accidents will happen. So either it may, then there may not be any accidents, so 0 accidents, or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. That means we can count it. If I want the next element, I will add 1, so 4 plus 1 5. If I want to find out the next element, then I can have 5 plus 1 6. So I can go on counting, but the last one I don't know, so I cannot predict in before exactly how many accidents will be there, and that's why dash dash dash, that means infinite, and that's why it is countably infinite. That means we can count it 1 2 3 like that. So these are, we can count it, but we cannot tell the what is exactly, so it will go on. So it is countably infinite sample space. Now the next one is, here we can take the example number of attempts required for a student for passing in a particular subject, so or in an exam. So you can pass in the first attempt, so number of attempts is 1. There cannot be 0. At least 1 attempt will be required for every student. Or if you get fail, then he required second attempt. Again, if he is not clear in the second attempt, then third attempt. So the number of attempts will be 1 2 3 and so on. So that is also a countably infinite sample space. So these are the two types, that is countably finite and countably infinite sample space in discrete one. So in discrete, we are having the elements that we can write the elements and there is a comma, that means 0 1 2 3 4 like that. So these are called as isolated values. So in between 1 and 2 we are not considering, in between 2 and 3 we are not considering. That means if there is 1.5, that is not possible in discrete case. Now come to the continuous sample space. A sample space containing uncountably infinite. That means we cannot count it. So it is uncountably and infinite. Number of elements is called as a continuous sample space, and such sample space is always denoted, or it is written in terms of interval. So omega is equal to 0 to infinity, or it may be minus infinity to plus infinity also. So height of the person, that is also continuous sample space. Now you may have the height, that is my height is 5.1. So how come it be a continuous sample space? So when we are having 5.1 means what? My instrument, measuring instrument has some limitations. That means their markings are there. So we cannot go into accurately. That means when there is a 5.1, that doesn't mean that exactly it will be at 0.1. It may be having some fluctuations, that means here before that 0.1 line or after that line. So it will be within some interval, and that's why it is not a exact number that or we are having, and that's why it is a continuous sample space. So it will lie in some interval. Now to know the concept of continuous sample space, I will give you some explanation related to your measuring scale. All of you have the, now to know or to understand the concept of uncountably infinite, let us see one example. All of you have measuring scale in your compass box. Now see that measuring scale. The markings on that scale is 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, starting from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3 up to that centimeter. Now each 1 centimeter is marked, that means in between it is divided into 10 parts, and that one part we are calling it as a 1 millimeter. So 1 centimeter is divided in 10 equal parts. So first part or first mark is having the value 1 millimeter, or since it is divided in 10 parts, so it is 1 upon 10, that means 0.1 centimeter. Naturally, the smallest measure we can do with the help of that instrument is 1 millimeter or 0.1 centimeter. So that is called as least count. All of you have learned in 9th also what is meant by least count. So least count is the smallest measure we can do with the help of that instrument. Now if there is a measurement in between 0 and 1 mm or 1 mm and 2 mm, then we cannot do it with the help of that measuring scale. So that is the limitation of that measuring scale. Now if this is 0.1 is the 0.1 centimeter is the smallest number after 0. But what we can do is that if we want to measure the smaller than that, we can use vernier caliper or screw gauge. But that is with the help of measuring instrument. Now suppose I don't have that measuring instrument, but what I want to know is what is the smallest number if one asks, then I can say that is if I divide 1 millimeter into 10 equal parts, then the first mark is having the value 1 upon 1 millimeter upon 10 because I am dividing into 10 part. So the value of each part is 0.1 millimeter, or if it is a centimeter, that is 0.1 centimeter divided by that 10. So it is 0.01 centimeter. So it is 1 upon 100 centimeter. So the least count or the least smallest measure that I have marking, that is value is 0.01 centimeter. So at this stage, if one asks me what is the value or what is the first mark after 0, then I am telling it is 0.01 centimeter. Firstly, I was used to tell that is 0.1 centimeter. Now I am saying that it is 0.01 centimeter. That means this is the smaller than that. That means this is not the smallest now. It is a 0.01 is the smallest. But now let us see. If one say instead of 10, I am going to divide 1 millimeter into 100 parts, then what will happen? Then the first mark is having the value 1 upon 100, that is 0.1 millimeter, or 0.1 centimeter divided by 100, that means 0.001 centimeter. So it is 1 upon 1000. So the smallest value after 0, that is first marking, and its value is 0.001 centimeter, which is the smallest than this above 2. So the first two are wrong here, that is 0.011 centimeter. Now again I feel that if I divide 1 millimeter in 1000 parts, then the first mark is having the value 0.001 millimeter, or it is 0.0001 centimeter, that is 1 upon 10,000. And the smallest marking after 0, that is the first marking after 0, which value is 0.0001 centimeter. Now see here, as we go on dividing this number, but that is instead of 10 we are having 100, then 1000, then 10,000, then 1 lakh, 10 lakh, like that we can go on dividing, that is number of parts. So every time we are getting the first marking after 0, and that value is goes on decreasing. So first time when we are saying that is the first marking is 0.1 centimeter, then we are saying no, the smallest first mark, its value is 0.1 centimeter. Then we are saying no, it is not like that, it is 0.001 centimeter. So every time it is goes on decreasing, and our answer is not fixed, it is going on decreasing. So we can in mathematics abstract level we can think at the brain level, that is we can go on increasing the number of zeros in the denominator, and those values are here 0.000000, so many zeros and 1 will come there. So what is the exact first value, that is first marking after 0 and its value, that you cannot tell it. And how many such values will lie? We don't know, because first of all we are saying there are 10 values in between 0 and 1 centimeter. But now we are saying that is 100 points are there. But here we are saying that is 1000 points are there. Here we are saying that is 10,000 points are there in between 0 and 1 centimeter. Like that, one goes on increasing the zeros on this, that is 1000, 10,000, like that. The number of points between 0 and 1 centimeter, that also goes on increasing. So we cannot count the points between 0 and 1 centimeter. So those are uncountable. And infinite also, because we cannot tell how many points are there and what is the smallest one and what is the largest one. So we cannot say after, that means after 0 whether 0.1 come or 0.001 come or 0.0001 comes, that we cannot count. So it is uncountably infinite. So to know the concept of this uncountably infinite, we are having the another example as a line segment. So whenever we are having line segment, at that time the 2 points A and B, suppose, on the line. So in that segment AB, starting from A to B, there are infinitely many points, and which is the nearest point we don't know. So it takes all possible values within on that line segment. So that is also uncountably infinite. So this is the example, or we can say how this continuous sample space are uncountably infinite. That means we cannot count it like this, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we can count it. So here we cannot count it. Here we can tell that is 0 is the smallest one. Here we cannot tell which is the smallest one. And here it is infinite, here also it is infinite, because we cannot tell exactly how many such elements are there. Because on measuring scale between, we are only talking about 0 and that is 1 millimeter. So in 1 millimeter we are talking all these things. So on the scale there are so many that is millimeter. So we can have infinitely many points on that measuring scale itself. And that's why, since we cannot tell which is the smallest one, so it is uncountably infinite. Again, what happens after 0.1 centimeter, which is the next element that we cannot tell, that is whether it is 0.11 or 0.12 or 0.13 or 0.001, like that. So we cannot tell which is the exact number after 1 centimeter. So the next number we cannot count it, so it is uncountably infinite. So the continuous sample space are uncountably infinite. Now let us see some examples on the sample space, and you want to know what is the nature of the sample space. So the first example, answer to an objective question which has 4 multiple choices A, B, C and D. Student ticks a single answer. So either student can tick on A or B or C or D, and that's why omega, that is set of all possible outcomes, that is A or B or C or D, or that is comma. So number of elements or outcomes, that is n is equal to 4. So it is finite sample space. Second example, the number of tossings of a die is recorded when it is tossed until 6 occur. Until 6 occur, that means you want to perform that experiment again and again till 6 occur. Once 6 occurs, you will stop it. So either you will get in the first attempt 6, then number of attempts required is 1, or first is not 6 and second one is 6, so it is 2 or 3 or 4. So we don't know exactly how many. So we can count it, that's why it is countably, but last one we don't know, so it is infinite. So it is countably infinite sample space. So it is a discrete sample space, and the type is continuously countably infinite. Third one is 10 seeds are planted and total number of seeds germinated are recorded after a week. So since 10 seeds are planted, it may happen that none of the seed is germinated. So it may be 0, or 1 seed is germinated, or 2 seed is germinated, like that. What is the maximum? That is all 10 seeds are germinated, so it is 10. So it is 0, 1, 2, 3, dash dash up to 10. You can write in between dash dash also. And last one is 10. So total number of elements is 11. So it is a finite sample space. Next example is, TV viewers were asked to give rating to 3 programs, the first, second and third rating. Now we will rate it, the first program, second program and third program. So first program is rating 1, second program rating 2 and third. I will keep first rating as it is 3 and 2. Second rating is 2, first and 3. 2, 3, 1. 3, 1, 2 or 3, 2, 1. So the permutations we can write it as, that is A, B, C, like that. So total number of permutations is 6. That is here arrangement. So it is a finite sample space. Now here we want to write the sample space, that's why we have written it. But if you want to know whether it is a finite or infinite or continuous, you can use the concept of permutation also. There are 3 programs and you want to rate 3. So it is 3p3. So it is 3 factorial upon 3 minus 3, that is 0 factorial. So 3 factorial is 6. So total number of outcomes in this sample space is 6. So it is a finite sample space. Next example is, a 2-digit number is formed from the digits 4, 5, 6 using each digit only once. Now do the permutation of these 4, 5 and 6. So it is 45, 46, 54, 56, then 64 and 65. So total number of outcomes is 6. So it is a finite sample space. Now you can use the permutation. There are 3 digits. You want to take 2 at a time because 2-digit number is to be formed. So total number of permutation is 3p2. So 3 factorial upon 3 minus 2, that is 1 factorial. So 3 2s are 6. So total number of permutations is 6. So it is a finite sample space. Same thing we are getting here. Next example, a student appears for an examination till he get pass. So omega is equal to pass. P stands for pass, F stands for fail. In the first attempt he get fail and second pass. Then fail, fail, pass, or fail, 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 pass, or fail, 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 fail and pass, and so on. So he will appear for examination till he will get pass. So we don't know how many attempts will be required. So we can count it. So it is countably but infinite sample space. Now if you want to know the same omega can be written as number of attempts, if that is the question, then we can write as a first attempt. It will not start from 0. It will first attempt, that is first attempt he get pass, or 2 attempt, that is first is failure and second one is passing. So it is 2 attempts. These are the 3 attempts. These are the 4 attempts. So this omega can be written as 1, 2, 3 and dash dash. So it is a countably infinite sample space. Next example is a temperature of a day. Now temperature of a day, you may say that how this temperature is a continuous sample space. See, whenever there is a weather forecasting, they always give what is the minimum temperature and what is the maximum temperature, and the temperature which they are giving, that is, say they are saying that is the temperature of that particular city is suppose 34 degrees Celsius. Means what? It is not the case that for the whole 12 hours that temperature is 24 degrees Celsius or 34 degrees Celsius. If that is minimum, suppose it may happen that in between the day it may go up to 10 and it may go up to 40 also. So the whole 12 hours the temperature is recorded, and that average temperature, that is nothing but suppose 34. But that 34 doesn't mean that starting from the first minute to last minute it will not be constantly 34. So it is the average temperature, but that temperature always vary from minimum to maximum, and that's why omega is here, I have written here minus infinity to plus infinity. It will not go up to, but it will have some number, some negative number and positive number, because the region like that Jammu Kashmir and all these things, there may be the negative temperature and some high temperature also, positive temperature also. So it is a continuous sample space. Sometimes it may be 0 to something, or it may be some positive number 10 to 25 like that also. Next is the speed of the vehicle. All of you know that is on the speedometer first marking is 0 and every vehicle has its maximum limit. So that maximum limit I have written here. Suppose my vehicle is having maximum limit as 150. So I am writing that speed is 0 to 150. Now whenever you are making that statement, today I came by the speed of 80 kilometer. By the speed of 80 means what? 80 kilometer per hour. Does it mean that for each and every minute you have started for your journey till the end you are coming by the 80? No, it is not the case. In the starting it is 0, or at the sometimes you may get the traffic jam, you may get the signal, you may get the some other, or some roads are not good. At that time your speed might be less, or sometimes the roads are good, there is no any traffic on the road, so you may have the speed as 120, 130 like that also. So every time your speeds are ups and downs, but when you are calculating the speed, different readings on the speed at different timing, and then you are making the average, then on an average, or that will be 80, or you are having the speed, that is distance traveled divided by time required. By that time you are finding out your speed, that is 80 km per hour. But that doesn't mean that at each and every minute it is 80 km. That is not the case. So speed of the vehicle will vary from 0 to maximum what you have, that's maybe 150 for my vehicle case. Or one can write as a 0 to infinity, that is also not wrong. So it is a continuous sample space. That means it takes all the values within that interval. Then blood pressure of a person, we know that when you are going to measure the blood pressure, so it is having minimum and maximum, so it varies in between minimum and maximum, so it is a continuous sample space. Then speed with which a ball strikes the ground, so it naturally it will start from 0, it will not have the negative value. 0 to upper limit you can write that is 0 to infinity or anything, so it is a continuous sample space. So these are the examples of the sample space, and we are able to tell the nature of the sample space. Once you get the nature of the sample space, then you can find out the number of elements, and it will be useful for finding out the probabilities. So the next part of the sample space, that is nothing but the events, that we will see in the next lecture. So in today's lecture, we have seen what is meant by deterministic experiment, what is meant by non-deterministic experiment, trial of an experiment, then sample space and types of the sample space. So in next lecture we will learn about the events. So till then we will stop here. Thank you.